Hello, I'm Tara Brabazon.
I'm Steve Redhead.
And we're joining you from Adelaide in Australia. The reason why we're joining you from Adelaide in Australia will become clear very quickly. But firstly, can we send all our love and the biggest hello to Kath and to Joanna and all Mick's wonderful friends who have gathered today to celebrate the great man that he is and the great man that he was. We wish we were with you today. But let me tell you a little bit about who we are professionally. We're not sort of like two random people in Adelaide just beaming into a memorial service. My day job is I'm the Dean of Graduate Research at Flinders University and Professor of Cultural Studies. And what are you, Steve?
I'm Professor of Cultural Studies at Flinders University.
He believes he's the senior professor, but that's a whole other thing about our marriage. And the reason we wanted to do this video is that Mick Winter, I've known Mick for 10 years. I was his teacher for his master's degree at Brighton University in the United Kingdom, and Steve and I were his PhD supervisors at Flinders University. Now, Mick had completed the first draft of his thesis. We had a meeting with him on the Thursday and he died on the Sunday. But he has completed a full first draft and we'd changed and exchanged 3 iterations of drafts, and we have some good news for everyone at the memorial service today. My wonderful boss, the Deputy Vice-Chancellor Research, Rob Saint, agreed on Friday that we can progress that enrolment and that Mick will work hard and get that to a point where it can be examined. So with everything crossed, Mick will get his PhD. So that's great. It's putting that out there for everyone. We will get that PhD through for him. So he will be Dr. Mick. He always wanted to be Dr. Mick, I think.
Yep, deservedly.
Deservedly, but also his wonderful wife and his wonderful daughter had a master's degree. So I think he actually did want a bit of one-upmanship. So Mick, I think, at the end wins. So that's the administrative bit that we wanted to share with you today. But we want to just, at the end of our little video, talk about Mick the man. And Steve, what do you want to say about this wonderful human being that's been such an important part of our lives?
Yeah, he was a wonderful individual, just existing on the planet. But I think as a PhD student, later on in his life, he was magnificent. And as a professional writer, I think as his day job, that always shone through. In many ways, he captured people because of that. I always remember he started at Charles Sturt University, which was where we were originally, and he moved with us to Flinders University, Charles Sturt University in New South Wales. And the original confirmation of candidature, which you have to do in Australia as a PhD student in the first few months, was something that is in many ways an ordeal. And when Mick came to do it, and he came to do it personally, physically, at Charles Sturt University, the morning of that confirmation of candidature, I was really concerned. I thought it was such an ordeal.
And we were both very nervous too.
That he would, he hadn't seemed to take it on board. And when he actually did it, he captivated everybody in the room. These were senior staff.
Hardened journalists.
Absolutely, people who you thought were going to give him a really hard time. But he was so adept at answering their questions or deflecting their questions, and also presenting what is indeed a wonderful thesis, that the whole room was captivated in this kind of Napa Valley style. And that really stuck in my memory, because he was often like that with us as supervisors too. You know, I learnt a lot from Mick.
Very well said. So every Thursday morning we used to supervise Mick, as Kath knows. That was your Wednesday afternoon, Kath, via Skype. So at 9 o'clock on Thursday morning, it was Mick time. And it was a great time. It was a fantastic time. We laughed our way through every one of those meetings. And certainly I know Steve misses those weekly conversations about the moon landing, about who killed JFK, and about 9/11. He desperately misses those conversations.
I do.
He can't really have them with anybody else except Mick. And tragically, Mick and Steve were writing a piece on the deep state through this drafting of his PhD, which I hope we'll be able to get out in some form. But all I'd say to the wonderful people out there, you love Mick, we love Mick. And we're in this crazy situation in Adelaide, Australia, where At 8:45 every Thursday morning, we get a digital reminder to our computer which says Mick Winter's meeting in 15 minutes. And you know what? I can't stop that. I can't stop that. And you know what? I don't want to stop that reminder. Every Thursday morning, I want to remember him.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.